Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Steve Larsen, and you're listening to Sales Funnel Radio. Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Sales Funnel Radio, where you'll learn marketing strategies to grow your online business using today's best internet sales funnels. And now, here's your host, Steve Larsen.
I'm still such a dork. Hey, I want to, so just real quick, I know I talked about it an episode ago. My voice is just rocked right now. I want you guys to know a really cool success I just had. It's good that we all, and your successes too. I want to hear about them. Don't shun your successes. Everyone, you got to go embrace your successes. So here's one of mine. I used to call them brag moments. And when I was in the Army, we'd be doing push-ups. There's a time when I was commanding 150 people, and I would. I was pretty good at push-ups. I got, honestly, longer arms than most people, so they were a little bit harder for me, but I wanted to be good at them. And so I'd be doing these push-ups, and I'd look up in the eyes of all the guys looking at me while I was doing it, and I'd be like yelling at them, getting them going. We were all fired up. We're trying to keep each other motivated, and it was a lot of fun. But I used to have these brag moments to distract them while we were in those painful episodes, right? And so I would say, hey, Johnson, hey, brag to me, man. What's sweet in your life? What are you doing right now that's just kicking butt? Don't be humble. You tell me what's awesome in your life. What are you doing awesome at? And they would tell me, well, I did great at this, or there's a test I killed it at this, or I did this over here. I did this, and they would tell me that stuff. And it was cool how much confidence that brought the individual. And I wasn't planning on saying this at all, but be cognizant of those things. Whenever you have a win, take time to win. I'm not saying you got to stop your whole operation and throw a party every time, but take time to acknowledge them and be like, yeah, I'm the freaking man. What? Not in a cocky way, but take pride in what it is, your own personal progression. Be in competition with you and get excited about those successes. Those are the successes that get braggy about, the ones where you're in competition with yourself and go kill it. So anyways, here's a cool one for me. So I was asked to speak at a B2B mastermind last weekend. It was a ton of fun, and there was a fat event, though, 2 weeks ago, and I was solely focused on that. So by the time the Funnel Hackathon, the fat event, was done, I only had 1 week. Actually, it was like 5 days. I had like 5 days to create an entire 3-hour presentation. Okay, I've done a lot of 4-hour presentations without stopping. I've done a lot of 15-hour ones at the fat event, too. But 3 hours, that's still a long time to prepare for when it's a new material the whole time. You know what I mean? Meaning I had to reorganize it, restructure it. So I was spending all the evenings, I was thinking through strategy, I was talking to all my buddies, I was trying to figure out all the pieces in place. I was like, hey, what, let me know what you're thinking. I was trying to get a heartbeat on the industry, trying to figure out where people are. What are the false beliefs of all the people who are going to be in the room? I was literally doing the same strategy of creating a new product that I would anywhere else. And so I went through, like, what's the false beliefs of the people in the room? What are they going to be thinking? What are they going to falsely believe about my, it was cool because I got the pitch. This is my first time ever pitching from stage. And so I want to do a good job. And so I went and I was flying over there, and I got longer arms than the average bear, like I said before. So anytime I'm trying to do work on a computer in an airplane, like, it is not easy. My hand is contorted into the weirdest positions just for me to, it doesn't work. So anyways, it's like a 5-hour flight, with one stop and all that stuff over there. I'm getting stuff done, and it's like 10 o'clock in the evening. We don't know, when did I land? It was 11. I landed at 11, got to the hotel at midnight, and I'm presenting this thing in 8 hours. And I was like, I have barely even started the slides on this thing. Like, I've barely made a dent in them. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, well, buckle up. When in Rome, let's just get this done. So I sat down in the hotel room, and I just put on tons of awesome music. And I was listening to Foo Fighters and Muse and Incubus and all my favorite bands. And I was jamming out, and I was just cranking out these slides, and I was working the formula, and I was putting the pieces together, all the things that we know do the best. And I put those pieces together, and I look up, and it's 3:30 in the morning. I was like, crap, I'm only going to sleep a few hours. Whatever, let's make this sweet. So then I went back through and I was making things done and I was fixing it. And I was like, I want, win in Rome, baby. Let's get this done. And so I went through and I was writing the script and putting all the pieces together. And about 4 o'clock, I only lasted another half hour after that. But about 4 o'clock, I fell asleep and I finished. And it reminded me of all these other hackathons that I've done with Russell where we're like just dying, but we have a deadline, and it's lead or gold, are you going to get it done or are you not? Just do it. Time's not going to wait for you. Just get it done. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm going to get it done. So anyways, I went to bed at 4 a.m. and I was on stage talking and teaching my first session at 8:30 a.m. So I only slept 4 hours, got up, didn't eat, nothing else. I just, dressed and showered real quick and I got downstairs and I started teaching. It was a lot of fun. And when there's a rush. If you guys have never done a webinar, I beg you to, because it's like the easiest or the fastest way to cash we've ever seen. Myself personally, as well as with Russell and all the 2 Common Club coaching students that I have. But especially though from stage. There is a huge endorphin rush from stage. I love it. I didn't feel like I only slept 4 hours. I felt like I had a full night's rest. I was on fire. It was awesome. I actually got the recordings back, which is awesome. But I was teaching B2B people how to make new opportunities from their offers and a whole bunch of other stuff, which is really a whole lot of fun. Well, my first session ended. There's a bit of a break. And I hadn't even made order forms yet. So I run to the back with my buddy, James Smiley. Shout out to you, buddy. And hey, little side note. Actually, you guys know when I did those, when I did that 6-part series where I interviewed someone from the 6 different industries that we know are using ClickFunnels, James Smiley is still the guy who represents the B2B industry for me. He's killing it. He's doing awesome. He from that one podcast episode and the things that he's created from that only 2-3 months ago, they've done huge numbers. I'm not allowed to say how much, but a lot of money, and it's been awesome. Very, very proud of what he's created. Super pumped for him. Anyway, he's been a friend of me for a long time. So anyways, he was there. It's his mastermind, him and Danny Vega. And so they're both there, obviously, and I was there with them. And after my first session, I realized that we didn't have order forms done. So James Smiley's running over the back and he's writing these order forms and he's putting those things together. I don't think anyone in there knew. And I started feeling it like crap. So I took some more caffeine and let's take some vitamin C, baby, some caffeine. Let's get this thing rocking. And I did my first ever stage pitch. I've taught in the whole perfect webinar format many times, but I take out the last part where there's the actual offer. And this time I didn't stop it. And I'm really excited, you guys. I closed 28% of the room on my very first time ever pitching from stage. By comparison to other stage presenters, that's actually quite good. And I'm very excited, you guys. That's my brag moment for this episode. And I'm super, super stoked about it. Well, what I wanted to go through real quick with you guys is there's 2 different directions I could take this episode. I've pre-written out a lot of stuff, a lot of ideas, where I wanted to be able to go through. There's 2 different things, okay? Anyway, so what I was going to tell you though is that was Friday, and then I went to bed at like midnight and got up early again, and I had a full day of meetings with another group of people that was over there, and in Dallas, and then I went to bed again at 4 a.m. that next night. I mean, and it's Monday, and my throat is on fire. I'm actually going to stop here shortly, but. Principle number 1, just get it done. Just do it. Okay. You set the goal. It's like when I would buy tickets to triathlons, like the first triathlon I did, I just bought the ticket before I was in shape because I knew now I had to get in shape, same thing. All right. Set the date, start sending traffic to your registration page. Just get it out there and you will figure out a way, because you have to. You hold your own feet to the fire, feel a little pain over it. I dare you to feel a little pain over it, but you'll find out actually really quickly that it's the secret to getting a crap ton of stuff done and actually your goals much faster. I got to get some water here in a second. There you go. This is live, unedited, raw, Steve Larsen raw. That means different things in different places. All right. Hey, so what I wanted to go through real quick though is it reminded me of this as I was thinking through a lot of the lessons I've learned, because I was teaching a lot of cool stuff at the B2B Mastermind, and I'm super stoked I get to speak again in January, probably in February, in March I will be as well, I'm kind of off to the races. I'm going to speak a lot next year. So I'm kind of warming up, baby. I'm excited. Hopefully I'll sleep more next time. Anyway, guys, as I started thinking through the different lessons that I've learned while at ClickFunnels, things that I could share at the B2B Mastermind, I was reminded of the list that I kept for a long time when I first got hired at ClickFunnels. I first thought to myself, oh my gosh, I get to sit next to, in my opinion, the most brilliant marketer that is alive, Russell Brunson. I was like, how on earth am I going to be able to capitalize on this? How am I going to learn the most? How am I going to take away the most I can from this? And so what I did is I keep a list of Brunson-isms. Okay, these are Brunson-isms. These are 12 Brunson-isms that I've kept over the years. I shouldn't say years. It's been almost 2 years. It feels like years though, guys. We've been hauling cojones for a long time, and feel like I just have not stopped. It's been a whirlwind. Anyway, but these are. I call them Brunson-isms. These are the things that I have written down while sitting next to him. When I say that, I don't mean in like the same building. I literally mean arm's length away. And as he'll be on coaching calls, as he'll be coaching Inner Circle, as he'll be talking to someone on a podcast interview, as he'll be launching this or that, or creating this video, or making this podcast episode of his own, or you know what I mean? Like, and this is just 12. Okay, I sifted out a lot of stuff. I didn't want to talk specifically about funnel building strategy. I want to talk more about like how you act as an individual, as an entrepreneur. And so anyways, these are 12 Brunson-isms. And I won't dive too deeply into these simply because some of these, the lesson just kind of speaks for itself. Guys, one of these lessons alone has changed my life in my personal business. And so anyways, I'm excited to go through these. Okay. So I realize it's 12 of them. Usually it's easier if I say like the 3 things, the 2 things, the 1 thing, maybe 5, but there's 12. Okay. So I wanted to get them all done in one episode so that you guys could hear what they are. These are the 12 Brunson-isms that have had probably the most impact on my life, not just my business. I sifted out those. This is my life. Okay. Number 1 Brunson-ism. Okay. Again, and these aren't ranked. They're not ranked. I wrote them down. I was actually on a Trello card, and this is just a running thing that I've had for a long time. Okay, number 1 is don't create stuff. Document and sell instead. Okay, huge lesson. I did a whole episode about this a few episodes ago, where it's changed everything. Okay, anyway, it's crazy, guys. If you document and sell what you're doing instead of take the time to create it. I spent 8 months making my first info product, and no one bought it for the first few months because I hadn't spent any time creating any market pressure, creating any interest. I just didn't know what I was doing. Okay, so you can go spend a ton of time figuring out the actual thing. Like, let me go make the whole thing first. Let me get all that. No. Flip it. Sell it first, then document and create it as you go. Anyway, document and sell as you go. All right. So that's number 1. All right. Number 2, and I'll do like a review. I'll read all of them real fast at the end too. All right. So that's number 1. Number 2, design doesn't sell stuff. Okay, design doesn't sell stuff. As sad as that is to a lot of designers that are out there, it's true. If you look at Frank Kern's funnels, he's got a completely white background, and all he has is a headline, a video, and a button. Okay, that's pretty much it. And so the more I've been doing this game, the more subtle my designs have become. Now, I do think that design will help with follow-up sales, but it's still not the thing that sells. So if you're getting hung up like, what should my funnel look like? What should this look like? Like, scrap that attitude, scrap that mindset, and know instead that it's the copy that sells, it's your offer that sells. Okay, that's it. So, if you're going to spend a lot of time on the funnel, the place to spend the time most on after an offer, after all that stuff, is on your video. Okay, I don't mean like making it all professional and stuff like that. I mean the script. I mean, actually, what are you going to say in that thing, right? How are you going to come across as human rather than it being scripted? The actual words on the page, that's what does the converting. As much as we sometimes want to trick ourselves and think that it's the colors and how good it looks and things like that, like that'll help you for a little bit, but there's no longevity with it. So anyways, that's number 2. Design does not sell stuff. Copy does. All right. Number 3. This is a big one. A little bit ago, Russell talked about, we realized that that one of the reasons why Russell is where he is because and honestly, a lot of the other people that I know that are wealthy, who have become wealthy quickly on the internet, is because they stopped selling one-to-one. Okay? Here, bear with me a little bit. Okay? Understand where I'm taking this. I'm not saying not to have call centers or people doing outbound or inbound calls. Or taking inbound calls. I'm not saying not to do that stuff. What Russell, as the main entrepreneur, right, the entrepreneur of the company, has learned to do is sell not one-to-one. He's learned to sell one-to-many. Think of the scenarios where that applies most, okay? One-to-many. One-to-one, that's when I was like doing door-to-door sales, right? That's when I was a telemarketer, and I was good at those things, but it's still only one person hearing the pitch, right? 28% of the people I closed in that room before. Let's think through that, though. 28% of the people, that means I got to talk to a lot of people, one-on-one conversations. I got to do that pitch a ton of times to really make a dent in my wallet. Well, what Russell's learned to do is to get a lot of people in a room or a lot of people on a webinar or whatever it is and pitch one-to-many. If you can learn to do that, wealth is easier to be yours, okay? All right, that's number 3. Number 4, this whole thing is all about movement. There have been many times where, both personally and with Russell in his actual, in the office there, where we'll look around and we'll be like, I don't know what to do next. I don't know, like, it's, personally, in my own business, I've run into this many times, and you probably have too. You're like, I don't know what to do next. What am I supposed to actually do next to actually be successful with whatever I'm trying to do? And you got to come up with that plan. And one of the biggest lessons I've learned from Russell is that this is all about movement. All of it. All about movement. Just move. Okay? Think about a river. Okay, there was a river that I was rafting down once. We went on this 36-mile kayak trip, and it was a lot of fun. 36 miles, that's long. It's not like crazy long, but it's pretty long. It wasn't supposed to be that long because the river was supposed to be moving. But what's funny is like the first 12 miles, it was moving. It was fast. It was a lot of fun. And, going through, I'm an adventuresome kind of guy. And the last 24 miles, though, the river stopped moving. We literally paddled 24 freaking miles. We were so sunburnt because we were planning to be out there like 4 hours. We were out there 12 hours. 12 hours. No sunscreen, like none of that stuff. And like it, barely enough water. Actually, we pretty much were all incredibly dehydrated. We were so sunburnt that we couldn't stand for like 2 weeks. I mean, we actually got hurt over it. Okay. So I don't care. Like, eventually you got to steer the ship in the right direction, but if the thing isn't moving in the first place, then who cares? Okay. So if you don't know what to do, just move, just think yourself, okay, like, I don't know, what should I do next? I think that. Like, cool, move forward. If you really have no idea, just do something, okay? Don't worry about placing your foot in the most perfect place before you start going or having all the steps planned out. Like, it doesn't work like that. Hardly ever does. Never has for us. Never has for me personally either. Just about movement. And some people are like, well, that means you're going to do like 13 things you didn't need to do. It's like, yeah, but I found the 3 that made a ton of money, and you still haven't done anything yet, Anyway, number 5. Number 5 is a big one. One of the first things Russell said to me when I sat down next to him is he turned around and he looked over to me and he goes, hey, Steven, I want you to know why you're here. And I was like, cool. I would love to know that too because you chose me out of a bunch of people. Why am I sitting next to you? And he goes, I think, he's like, someone told me early on, and I don't remember who told him this. He's like, someone told me early on though, that there are starters and there are finishers. And he goes, Steven, I think that you are a finisher. I'm a starter. And what's funny is that that's true for me as far as funnels go, but it's part of the reason I'm leaving ClickFunnels is because I am actually a starter. I know how to finish, but I am actually a starter, and I can't not start stuff, and I've been doing that the whole time since I've been there. And anyway, so just know though, usually most of us have a predominant side. Are you a starter or are you a finisher? And sometimes one of the reasons why people aren't being successful is because they're a finisher and they're trying to do all these starting things. So go find a starter. Attach yourself. Same thing as the opposite. If you know you can start a ton of stuff, but you take forever to finish things, find a finisher and connect yourself to him. And Russell told me early on that's one of the reasons why he's hired who he has is because he's like, I am a huge, ridiculous starter, which is true. You guys will see all the things that he does. He moves fast. He goes to sprints quickly. But he said, I have tried to hire as many finishers as I possibly can. Anyway, huge sage advice. All right, number 6. Russell's a delegation master. One of the Brunson-isms that I've learned probably most from him is that I'll make comments like, oh man, I wish I knew JavaScript better. Or, oh man, I wish I knew CSS better. And he'd be like, why? We got a guy for that. It's like, yeah, but then I would be able to do X, Y, and Z. He's like, no. We have a guy for that. And I was like, yeah, but I'm interested. Like, it would be cool to know that. He's like, that doesn't matter, dude. Like, it's not what makes the money. Like, and he's done it to me many times. I like video editing. I like sound editing. I like doing, I geek out over the process. I geek out over the process of doing the thing that I do. It's a lot of fun. All the pieces of it, all the aspects of it. But one of the things he's helped me realize is that like, man, you just delegate like a beast. And that's exactly what he does. He's a visionary. He moves forward. He's a mover. He's a shaker. He figures those things out. And what he's very good at doing is figuring out what he shouldn't be doing. Okay? Not what he can't do, but what he shouldn't do. So there are many things that he could do that he's not, because he shouldn't be doing those things. He should be focusing on the other parts of the business. Does that make sense? One of the biggest lessons I learned from him. It's not that I didn't know it before, but seeing it in action, it's insane, you guys. It's how he gets so much done. He doesn't do it all on his own. He doesn't try to. And sometimes, a lot of us, especially for brand new, if we're kind of a solopreneur, I actually have a team. I haven't told you guys much about them. I will interview them shortly. I want you guys to know who they are and how I found them. Specifically how I found them, so you guys can do and start to replicate yourself as well. But I have my own team for my own stuff. I have for a long time for this exact same reason. I delegate like a beast. I got all sorts of stuff going on. I got software being created. I got an app being made right now. I've got tons of stuff that I do that I juggle on the side of working at ClickFunnels, which is kind of ridiculous. But it's because of this principle that I can do that. I'm not doing it all on my own, and neither is Russell. So anyways, delegate like a beast, you guys. Okay, next one, moving on. Selling is all about status. Okay, if I'm trying to sell stuff, you guys got to understand that if you're selling things to people, in the person's mind, this is what's really happening. If I buy this dude's thing and I fail at it, I'm going to look like an idiot. That's one of the biggest hangups. That's one of the biggest reasons people don't buy from you. Okay, so one of the things that he's taught me a lot of is that, look, selling is all about status. Okay, that's why there's a guarantee. It has less to do with them being able to recoup their money. It has more to do with them being able to protect their status, so that when they go to their spouse who didn't know they bought the thing, or they go and something breaks, or whatever it is, they can say, you're giving them the excuse. You're giving them an out. You're giving them the ability to say something like, oh, don't worry, it's under warranty. Yeah, total crap. No, I shouldn't have done that, but I got the money back, and it protects their status. Okay, it's all about status. You're trying to increase their status and protect them from losing it at the exact same time. Anyway, next thing. Biggest thing I see from Russell also, he's a huge planner. Big, massive wall calendar. And since seeing that, I got one last year, and I just got my one for next year also. And it's for macro level planning. We really don't do that much micro level planning, but we almost always have what we're going to do the next day totally planned out before we get there. Meaning, I know what I'm doing tomorrow. I know what I'm doing the next day. We know what those things are, but we got a macro level view on these big, massive wall calendars. Okay, we got this event this day. We got these things this day. We got that day. We got these pieces here. We got that there. And what's cool about it is that it actually really, I actually thought that planning in my juvenile years, I used to think that planning would cause some kind of stress because I had to think through details that I didn't need to know yet. And there's an element to that. But if I keep it macro, it actually takes more off my head. I actually increase my shelf space, my mental shelf space, when I use a macro level planner. And then I'll have a micro level one on just a legal pad. Same with, Russell does the same thing. He actually types it, he prints it, but I like to write mine on a legal pad. Anyway, plan a day with the day before. All right. Okay, there's a few other delegation points here, so I guess some of these could have been combined. When you hire people, your only focus is to hire those people to do business stuff, right? To tend to the actual business so that you can do what your role is. As the entrepreneur, your only role, the only thing you need to worry about is selling. That's it. Stop worrying about your dang logo. Okay. I know it's cliche. I say that all the time, but it's true. Stop worrying about your logo. It doesn't matter. Okay. For a long time, it does not matter. What you're trying to do is it's proof of concept that you're looking for. Just sell it. Sell stuff. And know that at the beginning, you know what? You'll probably have some refunds because you didn't do it right. So what? You're moving. Anyway, so when you hire people explicitly to handle business stuff, right? So that you can do your job, which is to sell. Basically, if something doesn't make you money, you shouldn't be doing it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, another huge thing that I see Russell do, which you guys actually have also been a part of, you may not have known it though, is that do your best to include your customers in the creation of your business. Okay? Or at least your product. Yeah, I mean, how many things does Russell publish? A lot of stuff. How many secrets does he keep? He doesn't keep any secrets. Everything that he tells you is everything that I get to. Okay, everything that he publishes, everything, all the pieces that are out there, he tells it all. And what's funny is it's contrary to what most people think. I got this idea, and if I tell anyone my idea, they're going to steal it. Okay, I've told everyone my ideas for such a long time. I can tell you that's not true. You'll have 1% of the people who try to pull it off, but even if they do, they're not going to pull it off the same way that you will. So stop hiding your ideas. Start telling them. Get feedback. Okay, include your customers in the creation of your thing. All right, next one is that whenever we're about to go on stage, he taught me this early on also. I thought I'd pass this on because this has been a huge piece. Whenever we're about to go on stage, and what's funny is that at first it was just him, and then I've started doing it too. But now we do it together, especially when we're about to collaborate on stage together. Like at the last FAT event, I was on stage for a while, he was on stage for a while, and then back and forth. And then for a while also, we were on stage together, which is really awesome. Actually, it was a lot of fun. Anyway, he taught me this. My voice is going, guys. I got to end this thing quickly. I've been going for 26 minutes too. I got to end it anyway. You guys probably like, shut up, Steven. Here's the last one, and then I'll recap real fast. All right. The framework is what saves you. That's what it is. Now let me explain it. Whenever we're about to go on stage, we draw pictures. Okay? You know all those little graphs inside Expert Secrets and .com Secrets book? Those were once stage presentation images. Okay, so when we're trying to figure out what to teach, a lot of times what we'll do is we'll use that opportunity to make sure to test stuff, to test concepts, to test things that we're about to, that we know we're on the brink of, that we haven't quite been able to formulate yet though. It's not that when we get on stage, it's always like polished. We obviously present it very polishedly, but if there's a concept or if there's a technique or there's something like that we want to make sure that we can test or whatever, we actually will draw it in pictures, which is why we have so many pictures. We draw it on a legal pad or a piece of paper. That's the thing that we take on stage with us. I do the same thing. And then when I'm teaching and when Russell's teaching, we can just look real fast at that picture and it represents the entire idea. Okay? Rather than write out all these bullet points, which we'll do sometimes, which I'll do sometimes also. But mostly it's just this big thing of pictures. Because if you can explain something in a hand-drawn picture with a stick figure, it means you've probably dumbed it down enough that anyone can understand it. Not that the people are dumb, but that you've put it in an area and in a concept and in a way that can be grasped and digested quickly. Okay? Hence, lots of pictures formulate cool book. Okay, that's the formula. Anyway, so it's actually 11. I thought there was 12. There's actually 11. 11 Brunson-isms. Okay, number 1, document and sell. Document and sell rather than create. Number 2, design doesn't sell stuff. Number 3, learn to sell one-to-many instead of one-to-one. Number 4, it's all about movement. Just move. Just do stuff. Number 5, are you a starter or a finisher? Whatever your answer is, hire the other. Number 6, be a delegation master. Okay? Just delegate like crazy, you guys. And it's funny because there's a lot of personalities out there that are begging for that kind of thing. They want to be led. They want to know what they're supposed to be doing. So tell them. All right, what is this? Number 7, selling is all about status. Number 8, plan your day the day before. Number 9, hire people to do the business stuff so you can focus on just selling. If something doesn't have to do with selling, you should not be doing it. What is this? Number 10. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 10. Include customers in the creation of your thing. And number 11, the framework you create is what saves you. That's what saves you on stage. That's what saves you in tons of areas. Guys, my voice is going like crazy, and it actually is killing. But I hope that helps. I hope that I talked to there's an episode I did a little while ago called My Black Book of Business. All I would do is write down business ideas and lessons, and I beg you to start tracking those things for yourself. If you keep track, just something to writing stuff down that frankly drives me nuts, because sometimes I don't like to write stuff down, but I know if I do, it'll be there. So just write down the thing. Like, keep a list. I don't care if it's on Trello or whatever it is, but start writing down the lessons you're learning, and they'll stick longer. You can teach them. You'll actually end up doing them. You'll remember them. You'll actually get them digested and start applying the stuff. Anyway, so that's kind of what I've been doing this last little bit, and I just want to share that list with you. That's my 11 Brunson-isms. Remember to have your brag moments. Remember to have your lessons written down. This is a long episode, guys. Sorry about that, but I thought it would be worth it to go through some of the biggest lessons I've learned from Russell Brunson. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for listening to Sales Funnel Radio. Please remember to subscribe and leave feedback. Want to get one of today's best internet sales funnel for free? Go to salesfunnelbroker.com/free funnels to download your pre-built sales funnel today.